Hey everybody, Hugh here. Welcome back. Well, this video we're going to take a look at the grow houses here and what's going on. Over recent ones we've taken a look at the courtyard and then we were out in the potager at the allotments. So it's nice and timely, just as we enter the start of March, to take a look at just what's going and growing on here, and of course plenty of tasks to do. You can see there the tulips are coming up very nicely. Now these were ones that we purchased because a lot of our tulips were eaten over winter by rodents in the pots here, so we went out and we bought some in the garden centres and we've put them into, grouped them into pots like that, so they'll come up very nicely indeed. You can see their colour coming from the bellis, which of course are related to the common daisy, but these are in this case semi-double flowers that are there. We've put them into this particular copper bowl that my dad made, and of course it always features in the courtyard, but here you go, they're planted up now and they're ready to go. Plants wise, we've taken in plenty of plants that we've had in pots in the courtyard in the summer and autumn time and over winter. You can see there's plenty of smaller 2 litre grasses and herbaceous plants that need to be actually just put in or potted on to bigger pots that are there. And some of the Alstromerias, which if you look at the January videos, they were actually still a couple of flowers on them, but those later frosts in January just killed them off. So a lot of just tidying and cleaning to do. There is, in the back there, the clematis that I refer to every now and again. That's Judith's one, growing away there. And that's the one that I got at the bargain price, growing away there as well. So we're not saying that there's a competition going on, but we are just closely watching just to see how they actually go and get on and grow. I am keeping a close eye because typically when you see fresh growth coming up like that with plants, it's a wonderful time for slugs. They're going, haha, it's time for some tasty growth, let's go and start munching away. So it's a pivotal time for the likes of these summer clematis. Keep an eye out for them, check under the pots if you have them growing in pots. Make sure there's no slugs around, and of course the odd journey out at night, especially on the milder damp nights, with a torch, just to have a look at what's going and growing on. So more plants there, as you can see. The real surprise for us was this particular one here, the Dicentra, or the bleeding heart. It's actually has re-shot up from nowhere. For me, it's one that never overwinters. This is one that Judith got last year, and it's actually survived over winter. So it's like, oh, well done. And it's got these lovely flowers in spring. So that's quite amazing to see it coming back up. And there is a piece of, an undeliberate piece of lupin that broke off when the plants were being cleared and cleaned. Some of the canna lilies, you can see fresh leaf coming up there, and I haven't cleared off the foliage in those deliberately, just in case we get some of that early foliage going and growing on, because that would expose them to whatever cold is around. And some more tulips coming up that we put into a bigger pot. So yeah, we were short of tulips because of the rodents having a good munch over winter, which can happen, and so we've rectified that, spending a couple of euros in each pot. You can see these twiggy plants here. These are the Acers. They're going to shoot lovely foliage, so we have them indoors to give them some nice protection. Can you see that? Shoot is coming on now. The camera's not picking it up. Yeah, it picks it up when I'm going. There's some lovely shoots coming on, and we have some reds and yellows and some green ones as well. So coming on along very nicely indeed, and they're going to be stunning in a couple of weeks. Still some weeds to clear out of the bottom of the pots here, so you will see that as I'm going around. We are clearing and cleaning as we're going. This is all the palms that we have. These are chamaerops. So there's 6 of them there, and they're in a nice sized pot that we put them into last year. These are buckets that we got, florist buckets. We put holes in them, and you can see that there's roots growing out. So now they'll go into standard size buckets, if you like, that we buy in the hardware store. Put some nice holes because they're a nice size. I think they're 30 litre pots. To encourage these to come along. They will be coming out sometime soon, Sounds funny to say that when there's so much frost, and even we had snow the other day about. But as Judith was saying, we have fleece, so they'll go into a sheltered area in the courtyard, and then we'll have fleece that they're ready for those colder nights. Some other comings and goings here. There is one of the Hookas that wasn't attacked by vine weevil, would you believe? But it's showing signs of mildew, so we get a mildew spray on that. And there's one of the gazinias. Nick, I don't know how your one is doing over in your place. It was surviving through the winters outdoors, but we have ours, because things are in pots, we can bring them indoors, and that is quite a tender plant. And came across this 10 pack of sweet pea the other day, so I haven't sown seed. Jumped ahead, spent €5, and sort of jumped the whole seeds and looking after the seeds, so they'll all be split up now, maybe into groups of 2 or 3 like that, and put into individual pots now over the coming week, and letting them grow on. Of course they will be pinched out. Good idea to pinch out your sweet pea at this time of year, and let them push up very nicely. That fabulous collection is our geraniums, and you can see we've been cleaning them off and that, but they're not great. Some of them won't have survived, some of them will have smaller shoots, but sometimes you question about saving these things. It's nearly easier to go out and buy some younger ones in the spring. And of course a little bit of colour there, polyanthus, lovely stems coming up, and you can see some of the foliage is a little bit pale looking, and that's because the plant is putting all its energy into producing the flowers. So either liquid feed or pot them on, neither of which I've done. But yeah, I will be making up a little bit of liquid feed soon, so we put those on in there. So that's pretty much the grow tunnel, just capturing it, if you like, in its raw state before many of the Acers and other plants jump, which they will do very, very soon. And a few more plants there, and of course the table is folded. Over here, as we come out, you can see that's outside the greenhouse. You can see the leeks are ready. Those leeks were put straight into compost that the broad beans were growing in last year, so we just put them straight in. We bought a pack of seedlings, and actually they've done quite well, thanks very much. So we'll begin to harvest them over coming weeks and use them straight in stews, lentils, and all sorts of similar ones, and just a mixture of pots. That's where the outdoor cold frame was. I've taken it away because it was looking messy and broken, so it just leaves the place looking neater. And along the front of the greenhouse and glasshouse, you can see it is looking, there's a lot of strawberry runners that have run there that we haven't done anything with. We were just saying, yeah, take them out to clean the place up. Maybe we'll leave 1 or 2 just for the fruits, but they do, strawberry plants are invasive, so as we're lifting them, we will of course pot on a couple more, just as 2 litre or 3 litre fruiting plants, which you can see we've already done here in the greenhouse. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8 there already. So happy days. They run nicely, and a couple of people I want to give a few runners to, which is great. There is the Antarctic fern, which is nicely protected. You do have to make sure these guys don't dry out over winter. And of course frost doesn't do too much damage. It was green up until that January frost that we've had. And some of the grape vines, the Vitas, that are pruned and will shoot soon. And there's some of the Hookas that we were looking at in the courtyard. So they've been put into their own compost. I don't want to put them in too warm an area, but they have to have some shelter because the roots do need warmish compost to grow. So that's grand. So what I do with this particular door, I'll pull it over to about there, and it stays more or less like that. So sheltered from those cold icy winds. And oh yeah, while we're here, this is the glasshouse. The roof repair hasn't gotten any further than just that one panel that I've done. Thanks Ed for the comment a few weeks ago where you were saying get some more of the what do you call it, polycarbonate panels, because those ones are, well, you can get them. He was giving me some recommendations of places to go and check. They were working out as expensive, so I was like, oh. So budgetary considerations, they will probably be plastic for now, but that's okay, and that we can put away our pocket money for some of the fresher polycarbonates. Nice bit of colour in here. Judith is always reminding me about how well this pot of Primulas look, because was it December or January, Judith, that I was in, that pot needs to be thrown out, and she's like, no, save it, they'll flower very well. And yes, she was right, and they have been looking fabulous for the past few weeks. Equally, just to balance, there is her forget-me-nots that she was saying, oh, they need to be thrown out, that plant, whatever it is, that pot of stuff. And I was like, no, that's your pot of forget-me-nots from last year, save it. And they're coming on very nicely there. So we're having a bit of crack, bit of fun in just the various pots. And some hyacinths there. They're smaller pots. And again, liquid feed your bulbs. I know I've been saying it in the past few videos, but do liquid feed them. And you get stronger and better flowers over the coming years if they're in pots like that. If they're in the soil, put in some organic soil release fertilizer, bone meal, in the autumn time, which will break down and release in the spring. Here's some plants, more Primulas, some that were hitting quite badly. We had them in a tunnel, they were hitting quite badly with just botrytis, and it's like, don't. But anyway, we save what we can, we do what we can. And I gave there with the metal flower and some of Judith's succulents. So the work is going to continue here. But anyway, always plenty to do at this time of year, isn't it? It's about just when you have an hour, just pop out, do an hour, do a few tasks that you can do within an hour, and roll along. Anyway, thanks as always for watching. Thanks for liking and subscribing, and of course do keep giving it a thumbs up if you're still here and still watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. All the best for now. God bless. Bye bye.